Greetings. This is MIT OpenCourseWare Centric Wiki World University and Schools news and question and answer on Monday, March 24th, 2025 at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And I'm in Lake County in Northern California, near the town of Middletown, California, and Harbin Hot Springs, my ethnographic field site for a physical, digital, emerging, realistic virtual Harbin Hot Springs and a realistic virtual Earth 2 is behind me in behind this ridge, roughly. This may be one of Harbin's ridges behind me. I'm in the Trailside Park, and I'm going to turn around here to show you the beauty of some of the mountains, the hills just around here. And I was told this morning that this park behind me, it's a fairly large park, maybe an acre or two, before the fire on September 12th, 2016, the Valley Fire that razed Harbin Hot Springs had many large oaks and was a very different park. The There's some very interesting art um, that I'm facing right now that's part of this park, that's part of Middletown and Lake County's parks in general. And as we wait to see if people will join us for this WUAS Open news and question and answer, I'd like to share a little news with you. So, let me just check if people are seeking to join us for this open conversation, for this opportunity also to build community, which is one of the agenda items. I first want to point your attention to the WUAS news and question and answer from last week, Monday, March 17th, 2025. And this is regarding both WUAS Pharmaceuticals and WUAS Pharma, and for aging reversal and for extreme longevity, and also regarding a realistic virtual Harbin Hot Springs, and even the study of bliss. These are some hashtags. Hashtags WUS Pharmaceuticals, WUS Pharma, hashtag for aging reversal, hashtag for extreme longevity, hashtag realistic virtual Harbin, hashtag WUAS Bliss, in agenda item 0 for in the recording of Monday, 3/17/2025, WUAS news and question and answer. So as we proceed with the first wing, agenda items for this World University and School, WUS, the first of two WUAS wings, which is a 501c3 or similar U.S. federal legal tax entity, and is building out of CC4 licensed OCW MIT.edu centric open courseware, and is also wiki, and is also in a Grow with Google WUS program. And you can find more about this at worlduniversityandschool.org. And at the bottom of that, you'll find both the 501c3 tax identification number for World University and School and the GuideStar page affiliated with the IRS for World University and School, as well as the tax ID number and the name to search in the state of California's California BizFile Online for our exempt legal entity in the state of California. Agenda item 1, World University and School Accreditation with Middle States Commission on Higher Education, with offices in the greater Philadelphia, PA area, is developing. But with the recent changes in the Department of Education, WUAS is wondering what further Middle States Commission on Higher Education developments there may be with regard to accreditation, World University and School Accreditation, if any. So I emailed our Middle States Commission on Higher Education contact people, Connie Clifton at MISH and Diana Bonner at MISH, and about nearly 100 other people, part of World University and Schools Universitians, in some of these regards. Greetings, how are you? Dear Connie Clifton, Diana Bonner, all. Greetings, how are you? WUS has recently relocated to Northern California, and I'm writing to follow up now on how best pleased to proceed with MIT OCW-centric Wiki World University and School WUS accreditation with Middle States Commission on Higher Education, and with WUAS seeking newly being in a Grow with Google WUAS program, and potentially out of Google headquarters in Bakery Square in Pittsburgh, PA, or in collaboration with Pittsburgh, PA's Shadyside Academy High School's Alumni Council even. Best wishes, Scott G.K. McLeod. And please see agenda item 6 for the Saturday, March 15th, 2025 open MIT OCW-centric Wiki World University and School WUAS monthly business meeting, which is in 2 blog posts from that day at worlduniversityandschool.blogspot.com and at scott-mcleod.blogspot.com in March of 2025, beginning with Trinity Alps Wilderness area and Saturday, 3/15/2025, open MIT OCW-centric Wiki blog post names in their URLs. Agenda item 1B, Mr. McLeod, I will be happy to answer any questions you have. Please review the following documents, which will give you information regarding the application procedures and the minimum eligibility requirements for applicant institutions. You must meet all these requirements prior to submitting a pre-application determination of eligibility to apply procedures, pre-applicant minimum eligibility requirements guidelines. Let me know what questions you have. Warm regards, Connie. And I include the names of nearly 100 people who are part of this conversation with Middle States Commission on Higher Education. And I reply to Connie Clifton at MISH and Diana Bonner at MISH and all. Thank you for sending the following information regarding MIT OCW-centric Wiki World University and School WUS accreditation with Middle States Commission on Higher Education with offices in the greater Philadelphia, PA area. And now that WUS is in a new Grow with Google WUS program, and am seeking for further steps to potentially collaborate with Shadyside Academy and potentially their alumni council as we proceed with accreditation. Accreditation will allow World University and School to begin to seek potentially reimbursement from all 50 US states' departments of education, and from also potentially all 200 countries' departments of education for students from these 50 states and students from these 200 countries who might matriculate at World University and School from home for free online MIT OCW-centric WUAS degrees. Agenda item 2, meeting U.S. Congressman Mike Thompson, Democrat, California, District 4, at a U.S. Representative Mike Thompson event, Coffee, in Lake County on Friday, March 21st, 2024, who is also the U.S. federal congressman representing parts of Contra Costa County, where 670 Ridgecrest Road, Canyon, California, 94516 is located. And I lived there for about 13 years until recently, and am still based out of there in many, many ways. And shaking his hand with Representative Mike Thompson's California Congressional CA District 4's Lake County Field Representative, Luca Moretti, present, and mentioning MIT OCW-centric Wiki World University and School and Native American languages WUS projects with machine learning and artificial intelligence and large language models to Representative Mike Thompson just before this event began. So I took some pictures of this event, and please see in Google Photo pictures of Representative Mike Thompson standing before the dais, the stage, and Field Representative Luca Moretti in the second picture behind the audience in Twin Pines Casino Resort in Lake County, California, in Middletown, California. And also, especially, what I wrote on the card, the U.S. Congressman Mike Thompson's card provided, asking for questions and similar. So what I wrote on the card was regarding questions. Scott G.K. McLeod, SGK McLeod at worlduniversityandschool.org, P.O. Box 442, General Delivery, 670A, Ridgecrest Road, Canyon, California, 94516. How could MIT OCW-centric Wiki World University and School help with free online from home WUAS degrees and regarding the high school student too, who asked about the FAFSA grants, a government program offering grants to prospective students, as I understand this, and who asked about help with higher education tuition and similar assistance. Thank you, Representative Thompson, twitter.com/worlduniv and SCH. Thank you to Luca Moretti, Field Representative in Lake County, Friday, 3/21/25. It was a very curious set of circumstances by which I went to this U.S. Congressman Mike Thompson coffee event. I had met Luca Moretti about 2.5 weeks earlier in the Middletown Public Library. And just before 11 a.m. on Friday morning, I was heading into the library to write my next book, Society, Information Technology, and the Global University. And out came Barbara Christwitz, a Quaker friend who I know from doing field work from 2005 to 2015 on about Harbin Hot Springs for my first book, Naked Harbin Ethnography, and where during those years I got to know Quakers in Lake County. And I was going into the Middletown Library, and out came Barbara Christwitz, amazingly. And I had just stayed with them, Barbara Christwitz and Ed Christwitz, about 5 weeks earlier for a night. They offered me hospitality, friendly hospitality. And Barbara said in front of the Middletown Library that Mike Thompson U.S. Congressman event was happening at the Twin Pines Resort, just a mile down the road. Amazing. I said I'd follow Barbara to the event and went in, and so great to shake Mike Thompson's hand and to have gone to this event and connected with a U.S. federal House of Representative congressman with who represents both Lake County as well as parts of Contra Costa County. Extraordinary, extraordinarily serendipitous and synchronistic, and curiouser and curiouser. So, agenda item 3. I'd like to invite you all to build a World University and School community with names and email addresses above, which I send the invitations to these WS News and question and answers opportunities in Zoom video conferencing for Mondays. You can all communicate with each other through your email addresses to potentially create community among yourselves. If inclined, please join this WUS News and Q&A, and we can further develop WUS community from this as well. Take advantage of building community online via emails, even in new ways, with these email addresses, if you are so inclined. World Universitians, people involved in World University and School remotely. And as we begin to accredit World University and School. Agenda item 4. World University and School's planned free WUS degrees in each of 200 countries and in their main languages. A set of tweets in these regards. This is sort of an overview of the degrees we're seeking to offer, first in English, then in all 200, in each of all 200 countries and in their official languages. Set of tweets. WUS UNIVS, hashtag MIT OCW centric wiki at World Univ and SCH, a Twitter handle. Planned hashtag free WUS degrees from home in each of all approximately 200 countries per the Olympics and in their main languages are bachelor degrees, PhD degrees, law degrees, MD degrees, IB high school similar degrees, AAAS degrees, and master's degrees. And see the college at World University and School, Wiki School, Wiki College, and the PhD degrees at World University and School as well. How can hashtag AI and ML for wikis help build this? This is something World University and School may build AI for, in program it, code it for our wikis, for example. So the degrees we're seeking to offer are bachelor, PhDs, law, MD, IB high school similar, and AAAS, 2 years of an undergraduate degree, and master's degrees. Check this out. Check these schools out. Wikimedia has some artificial intelligence projects. I've included a Wikipedia page with the artificial intelligence in Wikimedia projects. And agenda item 4.2 for what wiki AIs will WUS code for or program in all 200 countries and in their main languages at our online universities, our WUS major MIT OCW centric wiki WUS universities. Agenda item 5. World University and School's 12 main areas, all as Wiki now, and which will develop differentially with AI and ML for wikis too. So again, a kind of overview. Our 12 main areas, and there's two sets of tweets in these regards, are languages, planning all 7,159 known living languages and extinct ones too. Nation states, U at WUAS. Wiki subjects, courses in schools, music school at WUAS, library resources, museums, hardware resource possibilities, educational software, foundation at WUAS, and research. So expanded languages, all 7,159 known living languages in those languages. Nation states, all 200 as major online WUAS universities. U at WUAS, all 7.9 billion people on the planet, if possible. Subjects, academic and creative. Wiki, create your own subject about something you love in your language. Courses and schools. Are there free MIT OCW courses that you would like to add here or that we can add here to make them available as this wiki page develops? Free Yale OYC, Open Yale courses as well, and others, many others. Music school at WUAS, all instruments ever in all languages. Open wiki subject pages, schools for each. Free online WUAS degrees in performance, for example, and developments in our music school degrees from this. And the wiki school right now is wiki.worlduniversityandschool.org/wiki/World University Music School. How to get to real music making online. Can we help through our music school develop quasi real-time music making with all 7.9 billion people on the planet, even from their smartphones, for example, in some years. The seventh main subject, library resources. We would like to create major online research university libraries in all 200 countries and in their main languages, and museums, all ever in all languages, in a realistic virtual earth for museums. So in a realistic virtual earth. So you could enter into this world, this virtual earth, think Google Street View with Time Slider, and time slide back to, say, the 1890s and enter into the Library of Congress's museum when it just opened in 1895 or 6 in Washington, D.C., and walk through the halls and see the museum resources there, for example, or the Louvre. You could time slide back to the 1500s in Paris and enter the Louvre in a realistic virtual earth and visit it as it was, as it iterates, and to which we could all add resources, evidence, documentation, as well as some entity like Google or World University and School creating this on a platform that might emerge from Google Street View with Time Slider, Google Maps, Google Earth. Hardware resource possibilities. Say Google is creating new quantum hardware that's quantum computing hardware that's unique. Add the Twitter post about this to this hardware resource possibilities page. And we can also, when we begin to hire faculty and staff and researchers, make this far more comprehensive and innovative. Educational software. So add post fascinating new developments in AI educational software. For example, TrueMark AI, which is AI writing software for high schoolers that I just learned about from a Shady Side Academy email, the high school I went to in the second half of the 70s, and that I also added to World University in Schools Google Classroom, classroom.google.com. It's very practical and helpful, back to the basics, AI software for helping students learn how to write in brand new ways with AI. And the foundation at WUAS, which will include a focus on our developing resources and with boards, and as we grow in all 200 countries and all 7,159 known living languages. And research, for example, MIT OCW centric, more than 2,500 courses in English, all of which emerge from a kind of research focus. World University in School has created 41 majors out of this. And Yale OYC centric, Open Yale course centric. Courses in general at great universities, at all universities, are interoperable with the research that informs them. And we would like to develop major research focuses in many, many different areas as we grow. For example, aging reversal and extreme longevity, genetic drug therapies, and regarding Harvard and MIT professor of genetics George Church's research in these regards, and so many others. And medical devices. And in a hashtag realistic virtual earth for research, and a hashtag realistic virtual earth for STEM, a hashtag realistic virtual earth for genetics, hashtag realistic virtual earth for aging reversal, in one iterating realistic virtual earth, and also for exotic materials, for example. So each of these 12 main subjects at World University in School has its own wiki school or wiki subject, and they're all planned in all 200 countries and in their main languages as wiki subjects or wiki schools as well, as they grow with AI and ML for wikis. Agenda item 6, revolutionizing education, WUAS. So this is regarding two Peter Norvig online websites. One new that I've come across, YouTube, titled Peter Norvig Education for AI and by AI. It's an hour-long talk by Peter Norvig from about 2 years ago regarding what do we need to know about artificial intelligence, and how can artificial intelligence help us learn in our various educational systems in all 200 countries, for example. And regarding the incredible Tulify AI WUS article, Revolutionizing Education with Machine Learning and AI, World University in School, updated March 2nd, 2024, by Peter Norvig. So how can World University in School, and particularly on the wiki side, revolutionize education, make it enjoyable in new ways also for a vast array and variety of learners around the world? Agenda item 7, People's Park in Berkeley has disappeared. So it's been a site, People's Park of protest since the 1960s, a site of free speech, and just in 2025 or 2024, it seems as if UC Berkeley has started to begin building projects in there. They've put barricades 2 stories high around the whole People's Park with barbed wire on top. So People's Park in Berkeley has disappeared. It appears to be no more. Set of tweets in these regards. Wow, into a hashtag virtual People's Park Berkeley in hashtag a realistic virtual earth for history, and regarding hashtag free speech and hashtag US constitutional law and hashtag WUAS history, thinking Google Street View with TimeSlider, Gmaps, and TensorFlow AI, and little hashtag Pegman WUAS as you or I entering into this world and potentially experiencing living history as it iterates with AI and machine learning and natural language processing conversationally, interactively. So I took 4 pictures of what is now a disappeared People's Park in Berkeley on Sunday. And these pictures are in the blog post for World University and Schools WS News and Question and Answer on Monday, March 24th, 2025, in a Google Photo link. So this was People's Park Berkeley, a remarkable symbol pre-2025. And in another development, I and apparently and possibly others can't seem even to post pictures about this or other pictures too to Twitter, the social media post, any longer, apparently. I've tried to upload pictures a number of times and it hasn't worked. Unusually, this is a new development. But I did possibly save 4 photos I tried to post to at SCOTTMACLEOD, my Twitter handle. So photos may be in there, but I couldn't find them either after they appeared to be saved there. So might it be possible to begin to post photos to Google Street View with a time slider in a hashtag realistic virtual earth too instead? So you can see the photos of Google Street View of the disappeared People's Park in Berkeley in the link. And they're also in the Google Photos link that I added to both blog posts for today's WS News and Question and Answer. And there are also 2 photos of the UC Berkeley Anthropology Museum and building. So one of the Anthropology and Art Practice Building, which is a brand new name for the UC Berkeley Anthropology Building, and another of the Hearst Museum of Anthropology, which may be closed permanently, in front of the Anthropology the UC Berkeley Anthropology Building, and Art Practice Building, both on Bancroft Way in Berkeley. These are significant changes at UC Berkeley, and in this anthropology department, I've given 5 talks about my Harbin Hot Springs ethnographic book projects in the Tourism Studies Working Group, and am curious to see how this fascinating anthropology department, which goes back to, I think, the 1910s, will develop into the future and even in a realistic virtual earth. So, agenda item 8, aging reversal questions, and to MIT Harvard, how to grow almost anything synthetic biology course for spring of 2025 in week 7. So this is an email I sent to the MIT Media Lab faculty lead, David Sun Kong, and the Harvard and MIT professor of genetics, George Church, who are both faculty professors in this How to Grow Almost Anything Synthetic Biology course that I'm in as a global listener, and brainstorming and regarding developing with synthetic biology a pharmaceutical genes drug therapy to help people live beyond 122 years old. So regarding aging reversal and extreme longevity, health span genetic drug therapies emerging, and with a muscle wasting reversal and a higher, faster, stronger, more supple athletics genetic component. Per 2 student presentations last Tuesday, and how best to begin to formulate these genetic drug discovery questions. Dear Professors David Sun Kong, George Church, HTGAA, Peter Norvig, and the head of Google AI, and all, greetings, and thanks for another excellent 2025 How to Grow Almost Anything Synthetic Biology class on Tuesday, 3/18/2025. Brainstorming and regarding developing with synthetic biology a pharmaceutical genes drug therapy to help people live beyond 122 years old. So regarding aging reversal and extreme longevity genetic and health span genetic drug therapies emerging, and with muscle wasting reversal and a higher, faster, stronger, more supple athletics genetic component, and also a bone loss reversal component per student, 2 student presentations just now, how best to begin to formulate these genetic drug discovery questions. And I included the slides from the 2 students, which characterized the creation of a drug for lactase intolerance, and another slide with a focus on telomerase expression, which is associated with longevity, genetic drug developments, I think, titled Dose-Response Relationship of Transient Alterations in Telomerase Expression by Yolanda Shi. How to do this also in developing a realistic virtual earth for genetic circuits, a realistic virtual earth for genetics. And in one iterating realistic virtual earth, and see 2 Peter Norvig's incredible Toolify AI WUS article mentioning for the first time outside of MIT OCW-centric Wiki World University and School WUAS, a realistic virtual earth, and for STEM. And see also this tweet from Professor Chris Mason, who gave a tour de force presentation in HTGAA the week before. Tweet is titled Perturb Fish. And it's a tweet from Chris Mason, where perturbed fish could be metaphorically a way to work with species experimentally in a virtual earth. Could we perturb animals metaphorically in a virtual world and a virtual earth, thus doing no harm to them, differentially from on the ground physical world experimentation? Hope so. World University and School would like to code for this in a realistic virtual earth for species and for experimentation and for clinical trials. And thinking Google Street View with Time Slider, Gmaps, Gearth, Gcell View, Gmolecule View, Gatom View, and TensorFlow AI. And where Little Pegman could become our avatar agent electronic health records regarding genetic drug therapies and even editing and adding genes especially. Suggestions, Professors David Sun Kong, George Church, Peter Norvig, all. Greetings, how are you? And how many global listeners are there in HTGAA 2025? Scott Gordon McLeod, Canyon 94516, San Francisco Bay Area, US. Also, asked in text chat about, so in this week 7, in the 3-hour long Zoom video conference, I asked in the text chat about hashtag film to 3D apps in microscopy, especially, and film to n-dimensional apps. Could bring these questions to biology with computing, with genetic circuits in completely new ways. For example, with light sheet microscopy plus, and into film to 3D apps, film to n-dimensional apps, imaging into a realistic virtual Earth, and hashtag for genetic circuits. Thanks, best regards. Thanks for this incredible 2025 HTGAA course, Scott. So agenda item 9. Harvard Medical School recent tweet regarding a stem cell treatment for blinding cornea injuries developed by scientists at Harvard Medical School and the Mass Eye and Ear Hospital. So a set of tweets, fascinating. A hashtag stem cell therapy, hashtag genetic therapy from the hashtag Harvard Medical School at the Mass Eye and Ear that, quote, safely restored corneal surfaces. Could this hashtag gene therapy have implications in regarding hashtag aging reversal and hashtag longevity genetic drugs too? And hashtag regenerative medicine to reverse the need for reading glasses, and regarding presbyopia, also known as farsightedness as people age. So how to apply such successes? In this clinical trial, there were something like an N of 15 or quite small or similar number. But it seems as if this will likely be a successful new medical procedure that the Harvard Medical School will be able to share with other hospitals around the country, around the world, how to apply this for other regenerative medicine therapies, for example, and for, say, the need for reading glasses. So how to add this, seeking to add this to World University and School Medical School, the genetics wiki subject school page at World University and School, and the surgery wiki subject page at World University and School. World University and School would seek to develop further experimentation and our own research in some of these regards too, and also even with telerobotic surgery, potentially in Toyota ambulance vans, for example. Agenda item 10. And this is regarding the WS Miraheza Media Wiki and WUS Wiki pages. For example, the wiki.worlduniversityandschool.org/wiki subjects page. So there are no longer banner notices on them preventing WUAS or other individuals from making edits after contacting Lydia Pincher, Wikidata product manager in Berlin, and Hilary Thorson at Stanford libraries, and regarding possibly her involvement with Wikimedia in the USA. And I haven't tried to, so this morning, just before this WUS News and Question and Answer of March 24th, 2025, I was able to log in newly to WUS Mirrorhazen MediaWiki for the first time since November. Incredibly, I had been locked out of this since around November and before. Uh, and as the founder of this WS Mirrorhazen MediaWiki in mid 2000 since the mid 2015s, and I think I'll be able to make edits again, as will other people. So I think people will be able to wiki teach and learn to this wiki now that it seems to be reopened. Agenda item 11. Dear Rhett Dunlap, regarding a meeting at Harbin Hot Springs on Thursday, 3/20/25, in the new Harbin Square warm pool in the main pool area. Rhett, great to meet and talk with you in the Harbin New Square warm pool on Friday, on Thursday, I think. Maybe it was, yeah, it was probably Friday, 3/21/25. And your friend as well, last name I think of Hamilton. I found these websites online for you, including LinkedIn, Rhett Dunlap, and your company, seaglassprods.com, Seaglass Products, and another one. The Naked Harbin My Naked Harbin Ethnography book from 2016, which is the first book in the academic press at WUAS, planning to publish in all 7,159 known living languages with machine translation, and one from a realistic virtual Harbin Hot Springs for a second Harbin ethnography, and from a realistic planning to publish from a realistic virtual Earth, text in the sidebar, to also especially new hardware computing devices such as multimedia rooms or digital glasses, and also too planning to publish the paper. Is how to get it is how to access it is below, if interested. It's available in the SF Public Library on the top floor, I think, too. Friendly greetings, best wishes, kind regards. And as we were talking in this new Harbin Square pool, warm pool, Rhett, or afterward, Rhett mentioned that he had a degree in marketing, something World University and School could potentially benefit from. And I also wrote to him to give you an idea of how free to students MIT OCW-centric Wiki World University and School works. Please check out the beginning WUS Marketing Wiki Subject School and its CC4 licensed MIT OCW courses about marketing. And the updated ones will be available for credit toward free bachelor, PhD, AA, and related WUS degrees. And there's a marketing wiki subject at World University and School. And both the marketing wiki subject and the subjects page itself are both planned in 200 countries and in their main languages as well. I also recently came in contact again with Gart Titelstad in Oslo, Norway, and he's been involved in UNESCO IT in many ways in director roles for some years now. And I also have a background in studying UNESCO World Heritage Sites in tourism studies, for example. So dear Gard, Titelstad, Oslo, Norway, brainstorming and seeing your past work with UNESCO IT, how best to build out all 200 to approximately 2,000 UNESCO World Heritage Sites in a realistic virtual Earth. And see Peter Norvig's incredible Tulify AI WUAS article mentioning a realistic virtual Earth for the first time other than by WUAS. With Gard Titelstad's LinkedIn page also here. So moving on to the second wing of WUAS, the WUS Academic Press, the WUS Corporation, WUS Educational Services Stores. It's a for-profit general stock company, legal entity in the state of California. And academic press is planned in 7,159 languages with machine learning. And you can see the tax ID number and the name to look up in the state of California's California BizFile Online database about WS Corporation. Agenda item A, WS Educational Services Stores for books, computers, robotics, groceries, and with Walmart's software and infrastructure. In the other 181 countries Walmart is not in, how would this work? And agenda item A1, WUAS deliveries, say of WS Lego robotics kits for matriculating WUAS students. For example, in the USA and in India, plus potentially in any of all 200 countries, for hashtag WUAS home robotics. And with Toyota Sienna minivans upcoming, in what ways could we begin our WUAS educational services stores, physical, digital, say in the USA and in India and in many other countries, by delivering WS Lego robotics kits to students interested in matriculating for free WUAS degrees from their home with Toyota Sienna minivans. Fascinating set of possibilities. Agenda item B, Stanford MindPi cryptocurrency and WUAS. WS continues to seek to code for most of all 7.9 billion people on the planet, and not only for wiki schools, for people-to-people teaching and learning, wiki learning, wiki teaching among speakers of all 7,159 known living languages, but also potentially to end poverty among, say, the poorest 1 billion people on the planet, with free universal education for them too, and with universal basic income experiments, UBI experiments too, potentially with Stanford MindPi, whom we have a partnering email. How best to proceed with this as we grow our U at World University? And I think this is partly a question for Peter Norvig, but also Stanford MindPi. Agenda item C, WUAS, artificial intelligence classification categorization software, and for investors too, at WUS law schools in all 200 countries and in their main languages. And regarding what Annie Froelich mentioned, the lack of a number of times in a Stanford AI course titled From Insight to Action, Advancing Enterprise AI Governance, in an Ask an Expert session for this Stanford Advancing Enterprise AI Governance. A conversation last Thursday, March 20th, with Annie Froelich and Caitlin Courtney, both at Cooley Law Firm in Palo Alto, I think. In the text chat, I asked a slightly different question, but World University and School would be interested in developing categorization, classification of artificial intelligence software, and for investors. Their talks in their recorded presentations and also in this Ask an Expert session were for about partly investors' due diligence and how can investors do due diligence with artificial intelligences in this early stage of artificial intelligence developments. So Uh, in the text chat, I asked dear Annie Froelich and Caitlin Courtney, the two panelists, in MIT OCW-centric Wiki World University and schools seeking to create online WUS law schools in each of all 200 countries and in their main languages, and also to build out related AI data sets in these languages, e.g. with Wikidata, the backend structured knowledge database, part of Wikipedia, which is in more than 300 languages. How best regarding From Insight to Action, Advancing Enterprise AI Governance, Stanford online course, to help, e.g. with CFIUS, CFIUS, the US governmental entity, partly focusing on national security questions and foreign national questions. And regarding foreign national questions, for example, at CFIUS, in terms of who creates the AI, and in building out especially data sets, in AI data sets in all 200 countries, main and official languages, for example, which Caitlin Courtney mentioned in her pre-recorded online talk. Thank you, Scott G.K. McLeod. And I shared both the law school wiki subject page, the wiki school in English, planned for the USA and potentially other countries, and also the China Law School at WUAS wiki subject, which is only in English so far, but planned in China's main languages, and also the Egypt Law School at World University and School, planned in Arabic too. It's in English right now, in a very beginning and early form, and the India Law School at WUS, planned in Hindi as well as English, as well as the 22 scheduled and official languages in India with AI and machine learning. And regarding the following videos in this course from Annie Froelich and Caitlin Courtney, published on January 7th, 2025, AI-related due diligence, national security context by Annie Froelich, partner at Cooley. And the other one, AI and VC investment due diligence, IP and commercial considerations, also published on January 7th by Caitlin Courtney, and the Stanford Law School publishes both of those. So that's the news and question and answer for WUAS today, Monday, March 24th, 2025. And until next time, next Monday, I think it's the 31st of March. Have a great week. Come into conversation with World University and School online via Twitter or blogs or in email. My email is president@worlduniversityandschool.org. And until next time, see you later. I'll post the recording of this WS News and Question and Answer for March 24th, 2025 to twitter.com/worlduniv and SCH and twitter.com/WUAS Press, as well as the blog posts, as well as, of course, the main YouTube channel, youtube.com/videos/Scott McLeod World University. Until next time, bye for now.